What's going on, everybody? So today we have something that I'm really excited about. Actually, we have sort of a road ahead. It's not like a traditional road ahead. It's pretty light in terms of information, but due to the data miner, we actually have a lot of information that we can acquire or at least predict based on what they've said here. So although we don't really have a traditional road ahead, it's kind of interesting because with all the predictions that Datamine ARPG has made, we kind of figure out what they mean by some things in this post. All right, so first off here, let's just read through some of this. We have racing into 2023. The flames of the burning hells are burning hotter and brighter than ever before, a telltale sign of prolific things to come in Diablo Immortal. Our team is committed to injecting frequent new content in Diablo Immortal, and we have numerous updates planned for this year. In the meantime, there are some additions to Diablo Immortal we plan to deliver this year. So they plan on delivering new content, seems like, which is pretty exciting. I want to mention something about this because they say this year, numerous updates this year. And for those of you that have been tracking Blizzard and the kind of Diablo scene, you would know that Diablo 4 is going to be coming out around June, around that time. If you guys have not pre-ordered it, I believe it's June 6th, right? If I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's July 6th. I'm kind of off today, but I think it's June 6th. Regardless, a lot of people were curious as how they're going to handle Diablo Immortal with Diablo 4 on the horizon. As far as I've seen, based on what I've seen from the community leads and what they've stated, they plan on Diablo Immortal being a standalone game and to continue have a team develop Diablo Immortal while Diablo 4 is active. So they don't plan on having this kind of like be an intermediary game where you're just, oh, here's a Diablo game in the meantime until Diablo 4 comes. They plan on developing Diablo Immortal at the same time that Diablo 4 is and having separate teams for that, from what I understand. So this is something that a lot of people were worried about. And myself, I was kind of curious on what Diablo Immortal's staying power long-term plan was. And this is something that is hopeful towards the long-term future of Diablo Immortal, because they plan on updating throughout the year, despite Diablo 4 supposedly being released later on this year. Let's talk about this, though. We have major updates. They released 2 major updates in the last year, or in the 2022. I would consider this 3 major updates. They didn't come up with this terminology until after the class change update dropped. As you can see, they don't include class change. They just say new zone, dungeon, enemy types, and much more. Again, I would include the class change, but the other 2 major updates were the warband stuff, and then the most recent one, which was the storm point. So those are the 2 major updates. They didn't even talk about the warband stuff, which goes to show you, I guess, how that's on their radar. I don't think that the warband stuff was particularly successful, even though a lot of people do enjoy it. I think that a lot of people aren't even able to participate in it. Then we have, this year we plan to release 4 major updates containing improvements to clans, in-game social features, gameplay, while also introducing a new class and Helicray bosses. Let's break this down a little bit and kind of figure out what they mean by this stuff. So, improvements to clans. If you guys saw Darth's video where he and I talked about the Datamine's Reddit post talking about clan PvP potentially coming, this is what I think they mentioned by that. And on top of that, they mentioned in the previous Q&A that they are looking to adding new PvP game modes. And so they say improvements to clans, and then that Reddit post with the data mining claiming that there's going to be a new PvP game mode for clan related, like kind of like a clan v clan, also with a new clan boss, like world boss, that you can fight as a clan. Those are the 2 things that the data miner mentioned, so I imagine that's what it means by improvements to clans. They have in-game social features. I'm not quite sure what they mean by that, to be honest. Maybe a new chat function, maybe a new group chat function, something like that. Gameplay, again, that's a very broad topic. But then the new class and Helicray bosses. Helicray bosses have been coming to the game every month or so since the game has launched, pretty much. And then the new class is probably going to be Blood Knight or Tempest. So everybody that I know of, that I've spoken to, that knows about this new class is super ecstatic to see the Blood Knight actually in the game. So we'll see how cool that will be, and I'm pretty excited for it to see what will happen with that new class. Obviously, we've been waiting for it for quite some time, but I'm excited to see it pop into the game. In terms of gameplay, I'm not quite sure what they're adding besides, the clan PvP, maybe additional PvP game modes, maybe additional zones. Not quite sure on that one, but one thing's for sure, they're probably not going to let us sit at Hell 8 for very long, right? They're probably going to add Hell 9, Hell 10, Hell 11, right? That's just probably something that is a given at this point. Narrative additions. Sanctuary is a land plagued by constant demonic threat. Simultaneously, the Worldstone shards force sudden and violent change to the landscape. This year, Immortal's narrative will continue to grow through the new main quest lines and side quests that further develop Sanctuary's inhabitants. So side quests are something that 90% of the players don't even do. I mentioned this in a video that a lot of people don't even know this guy exists in Westmarch, where you can go and collect some side quests and go and do side quests. They're actually not bad in terms of rewards, but new main quest lines, okay, probably means a new zone. Usually new main quest line means new zone. So new zone is kind of what we can expect, is what I would say. And then we have ever evolving gameplay. Core to the Diablo experience is a moment-to-moment gameplay, making quick-witted choices to decimate a bunch of enemies as you continue to enrich your character's build. We will continue to release new legendary items. This is one of my favorite things that they consistently add, guys. I love having new legendary items in the game all the time. I really wish they would balance the classes around these new legendary items coming out. Like, it's not good enough just to release the legendary items and then, oh wait, a class is extremely broken now, or this class just got way stronger. I would prefer to release the new legendary items, and then based on the reaction and the community testing and all that stuff, they would tune numbers. I would really prefer to see that. To add to our gameplay variety, we plan to introduce a new competitive mode and fishing activity. So new competitive mode, I'm not quite sure what that means, honestly. It could refer to that clan PvP, as I mentioned. I would consider that kind of a competitive mode, but I'm not quite sure what this means in terms of rewards, in terms of resonance, right? Is it just going to be a whale competition, which most likely it will be. I actually saw a Reddit post today talking about how people who are 3K residents are in denial and that we spent $40,000. This is just not true. The people who are at 5K residents are way further above. And I myself have spent about $2,400 to get 3,000 residents. And that means that I've spent, over the course of this point, it's been about close to 8 months. 7.5 months, right? And if you divide that up, it's roughly about $300 a month. So it's not as insane as it once was, right? You know, those people who are 5 and 7K residents are just going to dominate. If the residence does take effect, which it most likely will, this new competitive mode is just going to be 5/7K residence territory, which is a little concerning, because if they're gonna, you know, and basically, here's a huge update and it's going to be a competitive mode, that's basically kind of like a whale wars, and I'm not a huge fan of that, but we'll see what that is. Fishing activity, I'm always up for like random miscellaneous activities in games. Man, the sales, boys. I've been farming in the ship for this one activity. Let's go. We're gonna be so good at this fishing activity. I hope that the boat farm is the prime place to fish, because I'm gonna be getting a head start in front of everyone else. But I'm kind of excited about the fishing activity. I like other activities. I mean, those of you that know that I love RuneScape, and that game has like a plethora of activities that you do besides just hitting things, right? Other than that, we have lots of change coming to Diablo Immortal this year. We hope you're ready to take in everything. As always, we welcome your feedback and questions. Take a minute to provide any thoughts and let us know that you're excited for. All right, so what my thoughts are, first off, is these are very exciting things. They don't really give us a road ahead, in my opinion. Usually when you have a road ahead, they're like, oh, in this quarter, we're planning on doing this. In this quarter, we're planning on doing this. They do say quarterly major updates, so we could expand every quarter, or expect every quarter to have a major update, right? So like, first 3 months, and then the next 3 months, and then the next 3 months, and the next 3 months are going to have a major update. Other than that, you know, I'm not quite sure what those major updates will be, because they don't have a schedule at all. We don't know if like the zone's going to come first. We don't know if the new dungeon or if the clan thing is going to come first. We don't know if, you know, the new class is going to come first. We have no idea. So my feedback would be similar to the Q&A post. We didn't really get a ton of information from this post. All we know is that they're continuing to update it, and they have their thoughts on some things that we already kind of knew based on the data mine. So what I will say is I'm still excited about it. I'm still excited to see these major updates, and we'll see how everything goes here. There are a few other things that people suggest, you know, like universal set items, which I think is a great change. Some people are, you know, really irritated with the set item drops, which I've been testing recently, guys, and I mean, it's not been nerfed. It just hasn't. I'm still looking to get a bunch of set pity testing. However, that's a little bit more complicated because I have to make sure I'm tracking every single dungeon in a row. Whereas before, what I would do is, you know, anytime I have the option to record, I would just record some of my drops, which technically isn't, you know, a perfectly perfect sample size. But again, it just goes to show you like, hey, I could record this day, but then tomorrow maybe I couldn't. But if I'm testing the set pity, then I have to record every single footage of me farming back to back to back to back to back, and I can't skip any, otherwise it would screw up the data sample for the pity. So I'll be looking into that and seeing if, you know, I can get an idea on how big the pity is. My guess is that it's around 8 to 12. That's my guess, but we'll see. Other than that, guys, pretty exciting stuff coming, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to like the video. See you all tomorrow.